You can either stop that by hitting the E-gun button on the screen or by just turning off your crystal controller. Either one stops the E-gun power. Now, we're going to let it cool, and then we're going to vent the chamber and let you look inside of it. Now, the noise you hear from the very large cryos, that chamber next to it's got a 20 and a 16 attached to it. Okay, we're ready for venting. You don't have to, but I like to turn the ion gauge off by hand before I vent. The tube does have a pressure sense, and as soon as it sees a big burst of pressure change, it cuts itself off. Auto vent. All you got to do is click it. It'll close the gate valve and open the vent. The vent has a timeout, and then it'll start to vent after the timer's out. The time is to give it, all the valves, plenty of time to close. Now we'll let that vent, and then we'll come back here shortly. Now we're going to back off a little bit here where we can see the hoist operate. Again, we're going to go up so we can push the up button. Of course, we let go of it, we'll stop. If it hits if it hits any of the micro switches, it's going to automatically stop. Now we're going to move up so we can take a look at the gun. Now, the filament assembly is going to be removed from the front. In order to change the filament assembly out, you have a center screw right in here and these two nuts, and it'll slide straight out. Once you do that, there's only two screws that hold the filament in. And you should be able to see the filament right there. There's your two screws. That one and that one. And you just drop your filament right back in there and tighten those back down. You're ready to go. Unless something happens, though, typically those filaments last 6 months to a year. All right. Shut it. Now, see if I can get this gun up where I can look right down into the pocket. There's the titanium that we were shooting, and I think we overloaded the pocket. that out because what we're about to do is to index the gun. Show you how the index light will go off each time the gun, not up, there we go. You'll notice this chain right over here is what's actually rotating the gun. I'm going to hit it again. You'll see the chain move, and your pocket will index. It'll index one time each time you hit the button. You'll notice we're on pocket 1 now, crucible 1. Come back. Wish I could get this camera up higher so we could look down into it. Get a little more. Now we should be able to look right down in there. So you can actually manually stop that indexer any position you want by cutting the button off, but if you hit the button and let it index, it'll move one pocket each time, and that bright light doesn't, the liquid crystal doesn't like that, does it? And there's your crucible number. See if I can. There you go. As soon as it goes off, it indicates exactly where you're at. That way there's never a confusion about what pocket you're on. We did change that hoist out and put some serious heavy duty switches on it. Turn the light off, we're going to do an auto pump. And remember, we said the only thing you have to do to pump this down once you close your jar, now the computer screen says 202 to my right. We're going to use it to timer out to see how long this takes to get down into the 1.0 minus 6 or the 7 range. That's a request another customer has asked for us to identify. The second row of digits here is your crossover roughing. That is the roughing of the jar right there. So we've got the set point here set up at 2 on the -2. Typically 5 on the 2 is what most people have.
And we just did a crossover. As soon as the auto pump is down, auto pump turns off automatically.
And we're able now to light our ion gauge.
We only have a couple of minutes left on this little short recorder, so I'm going to turn it off and save the last few minutes, so I'll have a little bit of space here to make statements on. It's actually a very, very fast machine because we got a very high efficient cryo on there, not a lot of volume in that chamber. Whoop, got a little back burst there. That may have been from our ion gauge heating up. That looks more like it. Get the lower vacuum and it'll stabilize out. We're probably outgassing water vapor already. It's very, very humid and rainy today. We're at 219, so in 17 minutes we're at 1.5 minus 5. We're coming up on 30 minutes, which includes your roughing time as well, right now. 7.8 minus 6, 30 minutes from start of rough. We're setting at 45 minutes. Rough and pump down. We're at 1 hour. We're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. For an hour and 46 minutes.